The roots of the Vietnam War can be traced back to Vietnam's colonial history. Having been under French colonial rule since the mid-19th century, Vietnam became a focal point for anti-colonial resistance movements. The struggle for independence gained momentum, setting the stage for future conflicts. 2. Japanese occupation and World War II. During World War II, Vietnam fell under Japanese occupation, further exacerbating the challenges faced by the Vietnamese people. The weakening of colonial powers and the rise of anti-colonial sentiments globally contributed to the changing dynamics in Southeast Asia. 3. The Viet Minh and Ho Chi Minh. The Vietnamese resistance against both the French and the Japanese was led by the Viet Minh, a communist-led nationalist movement. At the forefront of this movement was Ho Chi Minh, a key figure who would later play a pivotal role in the struggle for Vietnam's independence. 4. Post-WW2 agreements. In the aftermath of World War II, agreements such as the Potsdam Conference and the Yalta Conference attempted to address the fate of colonial territories. However, the agreements were often vague, leading to uncertainties and power vacuums in many regions, including Indochina. 5. First Indochina War 1946–1954. Tensions erupted into open conflict with the outbreak of the First Indochina War in 1946. The struggle for control over Vietnam intensified between the French, seeking to reassert colonial dominance, and the Viet Minh, fighting for independence. The war resulted in the decisive Battle of Dien Bien Phu in 1954, leading to the Geneva Accords. 6. Geneva Accords and Division of Vietnam. The Geneva Accords, signed in 1954, temporarily divided Vietnam along the 17th parallel, with the north under communist control led by Ho Chi Minh and the south under an anti-communist government. The intended nationwide elections to unify Vietnam never took place, setting the stage for the long-term division. 7. Creation of South Vietnam. The division of Vietnam led to the establishment of the Republic of Vietnam South Vietnam, with Ngo Dinh Diem as its leader. The United States, increasingly concerned about the spread of communism, provided substantial support to South Vietnam, setting the stage for direct American involvement in the conflict. 8. Growing U.S. involvement. The U.S. involvement in Vietnam escalated with the Gulf of Tonkin incident in 1964, leading to the authorization of military force against North Vietnam. The commitment of U.S. troops grew rapidly, marking the beginning of large-scale American involvement in the Vietnam War. 9. Complexities of the Cold War. The Vietnam War unfolded within the broader context of the Cold War, with the United States viewing the conflict through the lens of containment against the spread of communism. The geopolitical complexities of the Cold War influenced U.S. policy in Vietnam and contributed to the protracted nature of the conflict. 10. Legacy and impact. The Vietnam War had profound and enduring consequences both for Vietnam and the international community. The war resulted in immense human suffering, altered global perceptions of U.S. military interventions, and left a lasting impact on the geopolitical landscape of Southeast Asia. Conclusion. The harbingers of the Vietnam War were deeply rooted in the historical struggle for independence, the complexities of post-colonial realignments, and the broader ideological and geopolitical tensions of the Cold War. Understanding these precursors provides insight into the intricate dynamics that culminated in the protracted and devastating conflict that defined the Vietnam War era.